And we have an amazing guest in the building. She's very beautiful, very tall, very demure, very elegant. I love her smile. She's amazing, a Nigerian filmmaker by all standards and all rights. She is... I wish I could say so much more. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, Nigerian filmmaker Bukola Ogunsola.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
It's so great to have you here.
Thank you so much.
So today is Tuesday, and Tuesdays we get to talk about movies. At the movies, we get to talk about what you've been watching, binge watching, and all of those things. So, I mean, as a filmmaker, what's your best genre of movie?
I would say comedy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I love comedies, yeah. I love comedies
I'm very
a lot.
funny.
No, you're not. You're not. You've been killing out with track jokes. We're talking about her and our works right now. Don't be funny.
But yeah, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
We want to talk about your new project out there, something about the Briggs.
Yeah.
I've seen the trailer. I've seen the cinematography is amazing.
Yes.
I feel like you guys didn't leave any stones unturned. So tell us about making that movie and what it means to you.
Something about the Briggs is a project that is so dear to me.
Oh.
Because it's a 5-year project.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It took me 5 years to get that film done.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and if you watch the film, you will understand why it had to take that long. Yeah, because it's a very high-budget film. Permit me to call it a blockbuster.
Okay.
It is a blockbuster.
Yeah, it is a blockbuster because it is studied with A-list actors. We went big on costume. We made 150 costumes.
Oh my goodness.
Just for this film. Yes, because we
You are investors, or these are your...
personally funded.
Oh my
So that's
good
why I said it took me
God.
5 years.
Wow.
That's why I said it took me 5 years to get
Okay.
it done, because I literally went all out to
For
make
the
this
movie.
film, for this movie. I wanted something different. I wanted something very excellent. I wanted something that can stand anywhere in the world.
Oh, wow.
And God helped us. We were able to really achieve that.
Fantastic.
Amazing.
Well done.
And I know that, you know, in recent times, Nigerian filmmaking has seen an upturn in terms of investors coming in and putting in money. Also, we've seen international streaming services like, you know, the Netflix, all of that, Amazon coming. And then we've also had issues of them pulling out as well. Right. But I want to ask you, I mean, making this movie, I know that it wasn't all, you know, it wasn't all smooth. What were the challenges making something like this in Nigeria at this moment?
I think the major challenge I had was the funding, which again was why it took that long.
Okay.
Because I'm still like a relatively new filmmaker, so people won't be like, I mean, it will be a risk to invest in the project because I wasn't like known, which is understandable.
I guess.
So I literally had to push for everything to get done. So the challenge, and I think it's just a general challenge everywhere right now in the industry, getting funding to make your film is a big challenge. And even when the streamers and all these people come into the industry, they would feel more comfortable to work with the people that already have a name and have a track record of success, which is again also understandable. So for we upcoming filmmakers, we literally have to work our way to that place where we can now find people to invest in us. So making something about the Briggs was, for me, a project that I made up my mind I was going to go all out so that my work can eventually just speak for me.
For itself.
Interesting. Now let's take a look at the trailer of the movie, and we will be back to talk some more with Bukola Ogunsola.
This is a non-relationship relationship, so no need for niceness or all these unnecessary friendly things that you're doing.
Are you this nasty to everyone you see, or is there something about me?
I have a problem with you and the entire male gender. If you've met any member of my family...
I want to meet them.
No, that's not a good idea.
Hey sis, how are you?
Good afternoon, Auntie.
This is for holding a woman that is not your wife.
I'm not your husband you can be talking to anyhow. If you try any rubbish with me, where? I'm going to deal with you.
How, Richard?
Olumide, come and carry your wife
friend,
up
you-
here.
shut
Come
up,
and carry
shut
your wife
up.
up. I'm going
No,
to
shut up.
have it.
Enough! I will not have you all disgrace me tomorrow. You all would be at your best behavior tomorrow, or else I will disown you.
I can help him, Sophie. I can make him a better person.
Hello.
Who is this?
Who calls a married man very early on a Saturday morning? For what? Who is she? I'm asking you a question, Olumide. Answer me, oh. Chooks, I hope Sophie told you that she bedwet till she was 20.
Cynthia!
Next time, make sure you call me to book an appointment before you just show up at my doorstep unannounced.
I'm Chooks OD.
Ibenko.
I have had enough. Go to your room, get your things, and leave my house.
Then that means you have to throw both of us out.
This entire thing, I told you from the start, bad idea.
So God created marriage for man and woman to enjoy themselves. But because of our differences sometimes, the very fabric of love that holds the marriage in place has been torn to pieces.
Some chaotic situation there, something about the Briggs. All right, so now that you have put in all of this efforts, because there have been back and forth about some issues, some talking points in Nigeria. A while ago, we took a story about Lillian Afegbai, who was talking about how some people look down on other maybe filmmakers or even actors, talking about calling some YouTube actors, and you know, some people saying that no, there is this segregation, like I'm not a YouTube actor. And well, Kanayo had said earlier that, you know, he made known his thoughts about you know, creating movies on a platform like YouTube. Every time, you know, it's low budget and all that, you can just, for somebody like you who has done like 5 years to bring this on, and for somebody who just thinks, I'm sorry, that's the way I think, like, oh, there is a property I want to buy and YouTube, they give mad money. 3 days, oh yeah, come, back. We have created a movie. What does that mean to you?
That's a very tricky question to ask.
I know.
Honestly, I feel like there is a road to get to success. And there's a sacrifice you have to pay. Anybody can do a YouTube video. With your phone, I mean, technology has made things easy.
It's advanced,
with your phone, you can just pick up the phone and you can just like shoot something and put it on social media. But that's where it ends, on social media. Now, if you want your work to speak for you across the shores of Nigeria, then you know you have to go more. And we live in a world right now where, I mean, the world has become a global market, and everybody is looking for content, and not just any kind of content, but content that really speaks of excellence. So you can't pitch your YouTube video to Netflix or Amazon or take it to festivals, unless it's maybe like a social media, I don't know, maybe they have social media festivals. But if you're talking about competing with people on the global platform, then you know you have to go all out to produce something that can speak of, that speaks of excellence.
Right.
And that's what we did with Something About the Briggs.
So what platforms do you have Something About the Briggs?
So right now we have it in all the cinemas nationwide.
Okay. All right.
Right, I was just going to ask that, but I wanted to ask you though, how much did you spend?
Like maybe we can just like have something
like an
very
estimate.
Trust me, you don't want to know.
Really?
I spent too much. I mean, it's hundreds of millions of naira.
I can imagine.
Because when you're talking about that again, and talking about the cinema, we had another talk about that.
Yes.
You know, because people were complaining, some filmmakers were complaining that they have their favorites. And so at that point, it's not making it look good for other people who have spent time and money, resources to make, you know, movies like this. For somebody like you who has spent 5 years and you have used your personal money to shoot this particular film we're talking about. So what's your take on that? Because somebody from the cinema actually had to talk about that, address that, and was saying that it's not their fault if, you know, the audience choose to, you know, watch certain movies and all that. And they were talking about maybe some equipment can be faulty, and that is the money or something like that that they used to repair or something. I caught something, a whiff of something like that. But then, what are your thoughts about this? I mean, have you had an experience like this?
So one thing I've realized again with my film that is in cinemas right now is that it's one thing for you to make a good film. The marketing of the film,
it's very important.
PR. That's another major thing that I'm learning. Because if you look at films that are doing very well in cinemas, I doff my cap for the producers because they went all out on marketing. So I think that's one thing we filmmakers still need to learn, and that's one thing we need to learn from those producers that are cashing out in the cinemas.
And then do you talk to your actors too? Because I learned that some actors, once they act, they don't want to be a part of the PR and all that. Maybe you would have talked to them, or maybe they would have signed something for them to do it. They just move on to other projects that they're doing. So it's a problem for producers. So now lay hold on them, like, this job that we have done together, please let us promote it together. I don't know whether it's a problem.
Honestly, for my project, I didn't have that problem.
Oh wow, fantastic.
My actors
you had actors that are good.
They were super supportive. They literally carried the whole project, and they kept on posting back to back. They went for meet and greets. They literally supported me all through the process.
That's so nice.
For me, I cannot complain about my actors, but I know that some producers go through that challenge of once an actor is done with your project, I mean, they dump your project for some other work and all of that. I think, again, it's all about funding, because these actors also need to get paid, and this is what they do for the living.
I mean, you mentioned marketing of the movie, and it brings us to an important question. So over time, on social media, there's been rancor about, producers using the same set of actors for movies, right? And I realized that it's also because they want to be able to market this movie, so they use faces that are marketable.
Yes.
Now, as a producer on the scene, new on the scene, and you've made your first movie, I mean, you have your faces there. Are you open to being able to use other faces, people who can be casted in roles that actually fit? And what do you think about it, definitely, in terms of marketing, in terms of all that? I know it affects, casting is also affected by marketing, but the whole situation, what do you have to say about it?
Casting is major. Because even if you take your film to the cinema, the first question they will ask you is, who is in the film? And even when we want to watch a film, that's also what we look out for.
Right.
Yeah, we look out for who is in the film.
Yeah.
So you cannot make a film and put unknown faces. It will not sell. Unless maybe it's a film that is going on the streaming platforms. But if it's a film going to the cinema, you have to use at least 1 or 2 or 3 or, I don't know, known faces. And then you can now balance it with some other unknown faces. Allow me to use that word carefully. But another thing that again works is if you are a known producer. Now, so for example, there are some people that their names automatically sell a film.
Movie.
So they can afford to experiment with
I get it.
They can afford to experiment with upcoming actors.
You have to be strategic.
Yeah, I mean, so it's all again about strategy. So some people, their names, I mean, once people hear their names, they know that, okay, this film is already like a success. So they go, they don't even care who is in it that much. As long as, okay, we know this producer, he or she has a track record of delivering. But if you are an upcoming producer and then you do a film and you put upcoming actors, PR-wise, it may be a challenge. Yes, it may be a challenge.
So what are the other things you have in the bags, in the pipeline? What should we look forward to after this? I know that you're still promoting this, but then I'm so interested, like, what are the things you're doing? It's just February and all that. Like, it's such an interesting one,
I mean,
right?
she uses
like,
5
looking at
years to plan one
2025.
movie.
So I don't intend to use another 5 years. No, honestly, I've been so into this that I wouldn't even be able to think of like the
other
next
things.
step. But, so I guess maybe when this is over, I can take a breather and then think of my next project.
Fantastic.
But it's not going to be 5 years. I mean, hopefully not.
Well done. Thank you so much, Bukola Ogunsola, for coming on the show.
When does it come out? When does it come out?
It's already showing in cinemas.
It's already showing?
Yeah, it's
Fantastic.
showing in cinemas already.
Thank you. Brilliant filmmaker there. All right, we'll go on this break and we will be back. Stay here with us.